from tonight, 65 years after Bill Haley sang Rock Around the Clock. Rock and roll is alive and well, am I right? I'm so honoured and privileged to be importing Def Leppard into the Hall of Fame. I can't do auto cue, but I can do bits of notes. It's old school, okay? Forgive me. I'm going to quote first from the Joe Elliott Book of Philosophy, which says you get one chance to do the good shit. Don't fuck it up. This is my Friday one tonight, okay? I want to do them justice. I really want to do these boys justice. And I'm not going to tell you a history, I'm just going to tell you my personal view. I want to tell you how these guys came into my life and how important they are. 1981, cast your minds back, 1981, Queen were in a studio in Munich, recording a space. And I nipped out to see some friends of mine, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. And we were supporting a young, precocious bunch of boys called Def Leppard. I got there late and I missed them. And I felt so bad about it, I sought out their dressing room and went in to see them, sort of poked my head through the door and said, "Hi guys, I just wanted to say hello because I miss you, I'm really sorry. I'm Brian May from Queen." And they said, "No shit." Which was kind of nice, so I think we got on from that point, and they told me that Queen had been a great influence on them, which is always a great thing for me to think about. Cut to 1983, you know what you do when you're on tour? We're out on tour, and when you're in the cars and the planes and whatever, you hit the button to see if anybody's playing the record. So this is what I'm doing, I'm chatting around. Every time I hit the record, every time I hit the button, I'm hearing this amazing kind of clang, sort of arpeggiated guitar. I'm hearing amazing harmonies, this big juicy bass line, I'm hearing these huge fat drums, and it's not Queen, it's these young precocious boys. And the song is Cover. It's amazing fun. It was never off the radio at that time, and before the album was finished that it came from, Hysteria, they'd sold 10 million copies. Okay, cut to September '83. I'm in Los Angeles again. We're recording an album, which this time is the works, I think. And I go out. This time, Def Leppard are playing the local arena, which is the legendary LA Forum. I go down there, really conspicuous. I sit at the back. And when these boys hit the stage, I have to tell you, I have never seen anything like it. I've seen some great shows in the Forum, but I've never seen an audience react like that. They got to their feet, they never sat down, and they screamed and shouted the whole way through the performance. Def Leppard killed that night. I went backstage to see him afterwards. They invited me, and just like when we first played in the States, all their mums and dads are there, very proud mums and dads, and I get introduced to them, and the boys say, "Will you come up and play with us tomorrow night?" And they're too nice, so I said yes, and the rest is history. We played Traveling Band. It's history, except to say that I nearly lost my career and my life because this is pyromania, and the production has all kinds of fire. You know what that is? And actually Joe warned me, he said, "Watch out for the fireworks at the end, right? You know, just be careful." But I'm at the end, we finished traveling, and we're up behind the drums, and there's a kind of chasm in front of us where the fire's about to come out. I have no idea. I'm like giving it all this, and Joe's going, "Brian, Brian!" And I'm thinking he's just kind of appreciating me, you know? He's going, "Brian, Brian, the fire!" Anyway, this huge sheet of flame comes up from me, and just in time, Joe's dragged me out of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here tonight. So early on, Joe Elliott saved my life. You know, the history of Def Leppard is incredibly colourful and filled with all kinds of stuff, which I can't even go into because I don't have the time. But they started August 1977 in Sheffield, England. which is not a very glamorous place, and as a lot of people have said here, is a great urge to get out. They recorded 11 incredible albums, and they played their asses off around the world many, many times. They did it the old-fashioned way. They played and played and played, and they made great music in the studio. They sold eventually more than 100 million albums. They endured being very fashionable and being very unfashionable as well, as sometimes happened, particularly in England, where sometimes the press wasn't very kind, you know. I don't know why this happens, but they kind of got attacked, among other things, for making hit records. Now, can I just remind you what some of those hits were? We got Bringing on the Heartbreak, Water and Sugar, Armageddon, Hysteria, Let's Get Rocked, and Worlds Collide, Animal, Love Bites, Rocket. It's a lot. That isn't even a full list. They released 50 singles, most of which were hits, and many were number ones. But there was this kind of feeling abroad in the press and in the media, particularly in the UK, as I say, that maybe that made them uncool. Well, let me tell you, those songs, the fact that they wrote real songs that people can sing and carry in their heads, is the reason that Def Leppard will be remembered in hearts and minds long after all that shit. Let's say something about their endurance. You know, the Def Leppard band is a family, an evolving family. I would say the amazing bass man, Rick Savage, who was at the beginning and is here at the end. It's not the end, it's the continuing story. But very soon Joe Elliott joined him, and Joe brought the name with him, which apparently refers to some orally challenged cat of some kind. So these stalwarts are the very birth of the band. But the family grew and evolved and faced all kinds of adversity. The loss of drummer Rick Allen's arm in 1984 was a massive shock and setback, which would have ended the career of a lesser band. But thanks to the incredible fortitude of Rick himself in bringing himself back, and also thanks to the incredible loyalty and cohesiveness of that family, which is Def Leppard, in supporting him when he came back, they actually grew in stature and in every way. Not only Rick, but the whole band benefited in a sense. And I was there at Donington when he first came back for that triumphant return. Similarly, the loss of the fantastic riffmeister, I would call him, Steve Clark in 1991, will always be remembered. And I think many people thought that that could be a mortal blow to the band, and it could have been for lesser human beings. But the current guitar duo, Phil Collin and Bill Campbell, is awesome. In fact, I would say Collin and Campbell are truly frightening as a guitar duo, and it's amazing. Not everybody realizes that these guys are not just crowd pleasers, they embody such an amazing technical excellence, and they have it all. I regard all these guys as great friends and kind of part of my family. That's why it's so important for me to be here. I wouldn't have let anybody else do this, okay? They all turned up for our Freddie Mercury tribute, which was 1992. And Joe and I, in particular, have shared many precious and fun moments, snatched among the madness of touring life. We have a strong bond, and he's one of my dearest pals. When Steve died, Joe says that the first phone call he got was from me. And when the news got out of Freddie's passing, the first phone call I got was from Joe Elliott. These guys are a magnificent rock group. early on, Joe said, what's the story, the secret of a successful rock group? I said, don't split up. A few years later, he came back and he said to me, I have a couple of other secrets to being a successful rock group. You have to not get fat and you have to keep your hair. These guys did not get fat, they did not lose their hair, they did not split up. And they're here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They're also as honest and decent a bunch of magnificent human beings as ever came out of Yorkshire, or Britain, or the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege.
Massive love and gratitude to our very dear friend Brian May. We love you, mate, and congratulations on the incredible success of the movie. I'd also like to congratulate our fellow inductees tonight. It's been a real honour to be able to share the stage with likes of lots of music, Stevens, Amazon, artists that we have admired from a distance for many years. Alright, so now the business. We'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge a few people and some significant moments that have played a very important role in getting this band to where it is today. Starting off with our parents. Now back then we were just a bunch of teenage wannabes, living at home, dreaming the dream, and so without their help and encouragement, it would be a lot tougher to be standing up here on this stage tonight. My mum, for example, taught me my first 3 chords when I was 8 years old. I've learned 2 more since, and I've come to realise you don't actually really need them at all. My dad, who lent us £150 to make our first ever recording back in 1978, which was absolutely the launch pad for this very wild ride that we have been on ever since. Our folks did for us along the way, and I could stand here all night with great tales of parental, support and what have you. But as a major significance, it goes without saying that without their help and their financial support or otherwise, things would have turned out very, very different. This band's birth was the simple act of missing a bus, which is something that I did on one August night in 1977. By deciding to walk home instead of waiting for the next one, fate would have it that I would bump into a young kid who I knew to be a pretty good guitar player. That kid was a guy called Pete Willis. Pete is the co-founder of this band and one of the best right hands in the business. Now, sadly, Pete couldn't be with us tonight, but I want to emphasise how very important Pete Trouble was in his band in the early days. He's a terrific player. He has a very mischievous sense of humour, but he brought plenty of great musical ideas to this band. And it was Pete, after a chance meeting in a college canteen, both reaching for the same guitar magazine, introduced us to the late great Steve Clark. Over the following 10 years, Steve made a massive musical contribution to this band. His incredible and unique riffs helped shape some of the most important songs that we will ever write. And it really does go without saying that we love him and that we miss him every day. Two gentlemen who helped take us to a level that we could only previously have dreamt about were Cliff Bernstein and Peter Mensch. They formed Induction Management, and they looked after us for the best part of 25 years. We will always appreciate the fact that Peter bankrolled this band for years until things started to take off. Boy, did they take off. But not before the most significant contribution that Peter and Cliff ever made, which was introducing our music to our future producer, co-writer and mentor, Mr. Robert John McLean. We first worked with him on an album in 1981, an album called High and Dry. But it was 1983 that saw us moving a whole new orbit with the phenomenal success of the album Pyromania. Our new boss for the first time, our wonderfully loyal fan base. Without them, we would not be up here tonight. For that, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever. Thank you. You have stayed on board with us for the best part of the following 36 years and supported us through some tough times along the way. But those tough times have helped us make this band what it is today. It's solid, we're appreciative of who we are and what we stand for. Those songs written over the years were always our main priority. You only just have to check out our misguided fashion sense over the years and you will understand where I'm coming from here. And although it seemed that there was always a looming sense of tragedy around every corner, we just wouldn't let it in. But it is true. It did seem that every time that we made some musical headway, life would just knock us back down somewhat. Pyromania is a raging success. And then Rick has a life-changing accident. He survived it and came out the other side stronger. Hysteria gave us the global success that we'd always claimed. But then we lost Steve. But we survived, and we came out the other side stronger people. it's always played out throughout our career. So let's face facts, people here. If alcoholism, car crashes and cancer couldn't kill us, the 90s had no fucking chance. Finally, I'd like to just bring this into the now and thank some people who have been helping keep this beautiful machine on the road, hopefully for many, many more years to come. My name is Mike Mike. It's a great arrange from Howard Portman, who looks after us from 2005 until his passing in 2017. Howard did an incredible job breathing new life into this band at a time when it could have gone either way. And Mike continues to do so, thank you. To our friends at Universal Records, past and present, especially present, and to our families, to our wives, to our children who help keep us grounded. Honey, obviously that goes fast. Give us a good reason to keep doing what we do. And last but absolutely not least, my fellow bandmates here. We're not blood, but we're the closest thing to brothers that this only child has ever known.